Welcome back to another Sunday refresh. I got with me Katerina and Riley. As you listened to last week, or I hope you listened to last week, we talked a little bit about what happened during the week, or especially since it's the second week now. We'll talk about how we did last week in our spiritual walks as well as physical and things of that nature, and then we'll talk about our church service Sunday and maybe a little plan for the week coming up. Uh, I guess to start it off, we'll talk about how our week was. I think physically for all of us stayed in good health and we're all fine, so we're good that way. Spiritually, uh, we decided to work on complaining this week. How'd that go for you guys this week?
I well, I don't know. Do you want to go first, Katarina, or?
No, go for it. You're already talking.
All right. So I think we, at least I had some ups and downs. No, I wasn't perfect by any stretch, but it was one of those things that was in the back of my mind. You know, uh, like let's say there was something I was upset about. I was like, in the moment, I was, you know, complained and was upset a little, or something happened. But afterwards, because we talked about it this week, I knew it, and I was like, "Oh, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. You know, I should be thankful for this, instead of complaining because, it could always be worse." So I just kind of thought about that, and as I went through the week, I feel like it was with me more, and so I feel like as I started off the week, everybody kind of, you know, goes through their week and in different ways, but I felt like I started off on the wrong foot, but ended up finishing out on the right foot.
Yeah, from the left to the right, you know.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Katerina?
So I had again kind of like in the back of my mind that we were working on this week, and I'm not gonna lie, it went pretty bad. I caught myself numerous amount of times complaining about whether it be a big deal or a small deal, and I kind of found that most of the things I was complaining about were like 90% of the time not a big deal. There was one day I was just complaining, and then I found myself, and I caught myself, and I'm like, Lord, I'm sorry, I won't do that. And like the very next breath, I started complaining, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my God, I am so sorry. I need to, not do that. And then something happened, and it kept going in this huge cycle. And I'm driving as this is happening. I like hit every red light, and then there was someone crazy driving, and I was just like, oh my gosh, just so like that road rage kinda took over,
Actually,
and
I
I
I,
was
wa- I
like,
wanted to break in because that reminded me of something yesterday, and it totally slipped my mind until you said that. Uh, Xander and I went fishing yesterday morning at Standing Bear Lake, and let me tell you, I hit every single red light on the way there. I was getting heated in my car. I was like, "Rah! Ah!" And then I got there. I was like, you know what? Never mind. I got here safe. Like, I I do apologize because that was bad of me. Something
mhm.
could have happened worse. So maybe those red lights were there for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda
the
similar
the
to,
reason
like,
was to teach you some patience, buddy.
It
yeah,
definitely
honestly.
was.
So, like, I kept catching myself, and I guess, like, I told God, I was like, "Lord," once I finally, like, contained myself, I'm like, "I am so sorry." I eventually just put on some music because I was scared that I would find something else to complain about. It is so much easier to say, "Oh, well, just don't complain about anything or be more thankful," than to actually do it. Um, so yeah, I will definitely be working on that more and try and be more intentional on what comes out of my mouth. Even if to a lot of people it's like it's not a big deal, it's just complaining, but to God it is a big deal. And yeah.
It is. It is a. There's like a learning, not a learning curve, but like there's just a curve to it. You know what I mean? So for me, uh, I feel like I did okay some aspects of my spiritual life, and then some I did bad. Like starting with the positive stuff though. Like this week, I didn't say no bad words. I'm excited about that. Not a single bad word came out of my mouth this week. Or at least I'm pretty sure that I didn't say any bad words. To my knowledge, I didn't. And that was pretty cool. And I maintain uh, being in the Bible. At least like reading something, listening to something, praising God with through music or something of that nature. I was constantly doing.
Take it. Okay, I'll move.
Sorry, her mic's picking up. She's gonna move real quick. Um, but I did struggle with complaining earlier in the week, and I feel as I attempted to fix it throughout the week, it got progressively better. And granted, I probably like wouldn't think about it or see it if I didn't think about it. But I genuinely do believe that it got better as I went through the week. I did struggle with some other stuff like um, having ADHD issues and praying. I was so bad at praying this week. Let me tell you. Holy cow. Every time I start to pray, immediately after, I start thinking about something else. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Literally, half of my prayers were me apologizing for losing my training thought. It was so bad.
I get that.
I'd immediately start to pray, and then I'd be like, I pray that work will go well, and then I start thinking about work, and like, it's like I get a little flashback, like, I'm so sorry. And then I get out back on track, and then I say, "Oh, I want to thank you for the nice weather." And then I start thinking about like, man, I hope it don't rain today. You think it's gonna rain tonight? You think it's a good weather for fishing today? And like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let me get back to praying. And it was just an absolute nightmare praying. But I think it got better throughout the week, or at least I hope hope, hope it did. Um, it is kind of cool to think back on your efforts and then seeing it actually change. All
Yeah,
right.
your efforts changing, and what I think happens is you start to realize you're like you might not see like progress or like, oh, I'm doing better with this, but you might notice more that you're like, oh man, I did that and I didn't like that. That's the first step in the process is realizing that, something's not right. And if you can pick that out, which a lot of people can't, but if you can pick that out, you're already ahead of the ball game. So
Yeah.
just realizing that, you know, allows you to make that change um, for the better. So just keep that in mind if you're struggling with it too, you know, or even leave a comment behind in our Discord or drop down in the comments. We'd be happy to share any advice or things that we've gone through or whatever you need.
Hey, sweetheart, I can hear you breathing.
You can. I'm sorry. Here. There you go.
Thank
It's
you.
also it's so windy in this closet.
Oh, true, especially when the AC kicks on.
Like
All right,
I'm covered in a blanket because I'm cold.
I guess we'll get straight into what we talked about at church today. Riley was not there, unfortunately, so me and Katerina will be the ones talking about it. She's actually up from children's church last week, and that's why she didn't participate last week. But she is here today. First, happy 4th of July to everyone. 250 years is a really cool thing. I hope y'all didn't blow off any fingers. That'd have been bad. Um, but it was a really cool thing to celebrate and to experience. And our sermon kind of surrounded this fact. It wasn't the main focus, but it was uh, God's grace throughout the 250 years that America's been a nation. He started with first that our nation was founded off of it. The reason we came over to the United or to the Americas was because of the hardship with religion and the Anglican Church. Came over to America because we wanted freedom of religion, and then we ended up being like a British colony. And then in the Declaration of Independence, he actually said there's four times that God's mentioned in the Declaration of Independence? Just as clear, like, hey, we're all individuals and we should be thought of that way and not just property or things of that nature. um, that about the greatness of America. We all complain about how bad America is, unless there's some foreigner around, then we're like, oh, actually, America's the greatest country ever. But America definitely has its issues, and it does seem like it runs off of greed and money, but so does absolutely every country. Greed and money just rules the world, unfortunately. But we do have the freedom to choose. Most of the time, we choose the bad. Uh, but one of the things I appreciate the most about America is the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. I have only heard stories about issues with missionaries and believers overseas in countries where it's illegal to be a Christian, and the struggle through that. It is eye-opening to the fact that how blessed we are that we don't have to worry about that. And we take it such for granted that we're like, oh, I gotta go to church today. You shouldn't think about it that way, you know? You have the blessing to go to church and not get shot for doing it. Also, point number 2 here, he made that God is the reason our nation is so great. I don't know how many of you guys like listening to old war stories. I love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. But you hear the guy tell this story, be like, oh, and somehow this happened, or like some miracle, this happened. Like you can see God throughout the entire American history, throughout World War II, throughout the Independence War, and things of that nature. You can see God work in individual battles where everything just happened to end up perfectly that God could do, or that America won that battle, or something of that nature. And you're like, man, you can't make that up. It's really cool to see. Um, Founding fathers were God-fearing, and the Declaration of Independence and things of that nature went off of, I wouldn't say biblical law, but of the foundings and morals of the Bible. And so that helped produce a very, very great nation that fears God, or used to fear God. Also, thank God for his mercy. God blew up Sodom and Gomorrah because of how wicked they were, and thank goodness he hasn't done that to us. Because sometimes I feel like we need him. Like, Lord, just rain it down now. Because we are not doing a good job. You just see all the evil and wickedness that we just let go on. Uh, and then finally, your Christian influence on this. God has blessed this nation. And make that known. You know what I mean? Whenever you talk about America, be like, yeah, God really blessed us. You know? You can open up an opportunity there instead of just saying like, oh yeah, America sucks. Like, actually, we're pretty blessed. You know, God's taken care of us for 250 years. We're the longest lasting republic on the face of the planet, and He's just been good to us. You know, with all the freedoms and things that we have, despite all of the wickedness and evil that we see go on, God is really good to this country. Also, uh, Christians have to obey the government. Be honoring to God with the way you obey government, and be humble about it. You know, God said, "Give to Caesar what's due to Caesar." So don't try to be a bad person because, like, oh, I seen this happen. You know, honor God because He's the one that put all the people in charge. He's the one that maintains the country. He's the one that does all of the work. Despite we think it's us, it's God doing it all. I wrote down this. Don't know what I was trying to say, but I wrote down, keep God your God. Oh yeah, I know why I wrote that down. Some people would take America and make it their metaphorical god. Like, oh, I'm worried about the country so often, watching the news, and that's the only thing they care about. Your job is to keep God your God. Your job isn't to worship the government or worry about that. Your job is to glorify God and to have Him be your God. Anything else you'd like to add?
Um, well, the passage that Pastor used today was from Job 12:23, and it says, "He builds up nations and destroys them. He expands nation and he abandons them." Uh, and then basically, I am very, very thankful to live in America and the fact that God has blessed America. Like, I found it pretty interesting that, like, on the penny it says in God we trust, and if you go to like all the different monuments, and I'm just thinking about like across history in Washington DC where a lot of historical statues and stuff are, a lot of them will say like in God we trust, or like our founding fathers were either believers themselves or they were at least God fearing. And I feel like God really honored that, how like the foundation, the people who kind of started this, like um almost like submitted to him in a way and say, Lord, like you do with this country what you want to do. And he has. And um yeah, we can choose to look at the bad because America's not perfect, you know, no country is perfect, but we are definitely greatly, greatly blessed by God. And America truly is a very great country. A lot of people come here to be free, and that's one of the many blessings I feel like God has given America, is that we have freedom. um I love how we just have like the freedom to worship and to go to church. We don't have to fear for our lives. We can eat, you know, we have shelter. And I understand that's not maybe true for exactly everyone who lives here. But again, you know, America's not perfect, but there it is so many blessings here for sure. Um yeah, that was kind of it. I basically took a lot of the same points that Xander did, and I think he did a fantastic job on touching on them. Um yeah, I don't really have too much else. Yeah, we could get very political and like talk about the leaders and stuff, but whether we like them or not, God put them there for a reason, and whether we like it or not, we have to obey them and listen to them, and obviously be wise. But God must have every leader in their place for a reason. I think that's about it. You got anything else, sweetheart?
I think that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
God bless America, and I hope that we can celebrate many more years as a great country.
yeah, that we come back to God as an entire nation. Our
Mm-hmm.
focus is back on God because our nation would do so much better if we just cared about God more, honestly. Just
Oh,
just
I
love him
did.
and to do what he says, and morally our nation will grow so much, and the greed would dissipate, and all the wickedness would dissipate, and all the things that we so
Mhm.
often complain about. If we just turned back to God, it would disappear.
I did write down, if God can make this nation this great, how great can He move through you? And basically, it was like, look at all of the beauty that is in America. Like, and I'm thinking of like, yeah, the people that work hard, like the people that serve, or people in our government that are doing good, or the pastors or whatever, like those people do make um do a good job. But I'm thinking of like, just look at all the beauty and like the Grand Canyon and the waterfalls that we have, and the national parks like Old Faithful, and all those beautiful things. God still created that in America. And if you look at just all of it as a whole, and our people, and like, I don't know if anyone's been following the World Cup, but I know that when USA won, I think it was on last Wednesday. Oh my gosh, the amount of people that were like USA, USA, like we are proud to be Americans. Um, but how much more can we be proud of to serve a God that we do? And if God can bless this nation as much as he does, how much more can he move through us? And it just kind of put into perspective the God that we serve and the beauty that he created and what he can do, and it not only made me proud to be an American, but made me so incredibly proud to be a Christian in America, and the fact that I do serve a God who can do that. So that was really cool and encouraging.
That's good. Uh, I think we'll end it there. We'll end with some prayer, and then we'll see you. I
Yeah.
guess I'll see you guys tonight because I'm gonna do the podcast for Monday morning tonight. Uh,
Mhm.
but let's go ahead and pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the time that we get to spend studying your word. How thankful we are that you've given us this great nation that we were born in, a nation where we have the freedoms to worship you, Lord, and be thankful for you. I pray that you'll be with this country, and I pray that you'll help our generations to become more Christ-like and more honoring to you, Lord. I pray for everyone as we go out through our week, and we'll have an excellent week, and we'll bring glory and honor to you. In your name, amen.
Amen.
See you guys later.